Okay, let's dive right into this by putting your technology to the test right out of the gate. Think about the acronym VPN. If you had to take a guess right now, what does a virtual private network primarily provide? I mean, is it data compression for faster browsing? Maybe it's IP address allocation? Or is it secure communication over an insecure network? Just hold your answer in your head for a second, because by the end of our time today, you're not just going to know the answer, you'll actually understand the exact mechanics behind why it's the right one. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, our whole goal is to completely demystify the VPN. We hear this term everywhere, right? On sponsorships, in corporate IT emails, all over tech blogs. But today, we're diving straight into the source material to strip away all that heavy jargon and look at the actual architecture. We're going to figure out how these digital invisibility cloaks actually function, what they're protecting us from, and whether they're truly as foolproof as they claim to be. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by unmasking the VPN, and then we'll step inside the secure tunnel. From there, we'll cover VPN types and deployments, decode the protocols, help you with choosing your VPN, and finally, we'll expose the hidden drawbacks. All right, let's start with Section 1, unmasking the VPN. What exactly is this technology? So the really crucial point here is this idea of an encrypted tunnel. Just imagine the open internet as a massive, chaotic public highway. Everyone can see what kind of car you're driving, who's inside, and exactly where you're headed. Well, a virtual private network essentially builds a private, completely opaque tunnel right down the middle of that highway. Your device connects to a VPN server, and as your traffic travels through this tunnel, it remains totally private. Plus, to anyone looking at where the car exits the tunnel, it appears to be coming from the VPN server's location, which means your real IP address is entirely hidden. Because of this tunnel, your digital life instantly changes. Suddenly, your internet service provider and those pesky advertisers, they're completely locked out of your browsing habits. If you're, say, sipping a latte and using a local cafe's public Wi-Fi, this encryption acts as a heavy-duty shield against anyone lurking on that vulnerable network. Plus, by swapping your IP address, you effectively teleport your device. That allows you to bypass geo-restrictions, unlock region-limited sites, and even dodge targeted ISP throttling when you just want to game or stream in peace. And of course, it is absolutely the gold standard for allowing corporate employees to securely access internal company resources right from their living rooms. Let's transition to Section 2. Inside the secure tunnel. We know what it does, but how does the data actually travel? Let's track the journey of a single data packet. Think of it kind of like a relay race. It kicks off with connection establishment, where your software authenticates a secure handshake with the server. But before your data even leaves your phone or laptop, it undergoes data encryption, getting completely locked down with cryptographic algorithms. Then comes traffic redirection. Your encrypted data shoots through the tunnel to the server, which strips away your real IP and slaps on its own. Finally, the server handles decryption and forwarding, passing the unlocked data to your destination website. When the website replies, the whole thing just happens in reverse. Ultimately, this creates a seamless chain of end-to-end protection, guarding against anyone trying to tamper with your transit. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. If a would-be hacker on your coffee shop Wi-Fi manages to intercept your data, well, they are totally out of luck. They won't see your passwords or bank details. They just get this chaotic, scrambled mess of ciphertext. Without the specific decryption key held by the VPN server, your data is literally just digital garbage to them. Okay, let's open up the toolbox in Section 3, VPN types and deployments. It's really important to understand that not all VPNs are built for the exact same purpose. If you've ever researched VPNs, you have probably been hit with a massive wall of confusing acronyms. To keep from getting totally overwhelmed, we need to delineate these into two distinct categories: usage versus protocols. Usage or deployment describes the who and the what, like who is connecting and what network is being protected. Protocols, on the other hand, describe the how the tunnel is actually created, what type of encryption secures it, and how that impacts your overall internet speed. So let's look at the usage side first. You can really categorize these by scale. For individual users, there's the remote access VPN. That's you and me securely connecting our personal laptops from the couch. But scale that up for an enterprise and you get site-to-site VPNs, which seamlessly bridge a corporate headquarters with a branch office across the country. Now, for people on the go, mobile VPNs are absolute lifesavers. They're specifically designed to keep your secure session alive even as your phone drops Wi-Fi and switches over to cellular networks. And on a massive corporate scale, there are MPLS VPNs. These offer huge connectivity for large companies, though it's worth noting these provider-managed networks often actually lack end-to-end encryption by default. Moving on to Section 4, decoding the protocols. This is the dense, technical heart of the explainer.
If the VPN is the tunnel, the protocol is the armor your data wears while traveling through it. Before we look at the specific types of armor, here is another question from our source material to test your intuition. Which of the following protocols is considered modern, blindingly fast, and incredibly mobile-friendly? Keep that in the back of your mind as we reveal the landscape of VPN protocols.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast between the older tech and the new powerhouses here. Down at the bottom, you have PPTP. Sure, it's fast, but its security is incredibly weak by modern standards. It's strictly a relic for legacy systems. Compare that to the top of the board. OpenVPN is a widely adopted titan using AES 256 encryption that just slices right through firewalls. Or IKV2, which is fantastic for mobile users because it reconnects instantly. And the answer to our quiz question? WireGuard. That is your modern, mobile-friendly champion. With a small, lightweight codebase and next-gen cryptography, it delivers the blistering speeds and low latency you absolutely need for heavy streaming and gaming.
All right, let's guide ourselves out of the technical weeds now and move to Section 5, choosing your VPN. How do we actually apply this knowledge in everyday life?
Knowing this tech gives you a framework for being an informed consumer. When you're choosing a provider, you really need to look past the price tag. Demand military-grade AES 256 encryption and a strict, audited, no-logs policy. You also shouldn't have to sacrifice speed for security, so definitely prioritize low-latency servers with a massive global footprint to bypass those annoying geo-blocks. Finally, ensure the service plays nice with all your devices, from your Mac to your router, and is backed up by rock-solid customer support.
Finally, we reach Section 6, the hidden drawbacks. Look, we aren't here just to sell you on the magic of VPNs. We need a bit of a reality check.
Because every piece of tech has a cost, right? For one, physics simply dictates that encrypting and routing your data through remote servers is going to slow down your internet speed and increase latency. But more importantly, there's a dangerous myth out there that all VPNs guarantee privacy. The truth? Provider quality varies wildly. Some, especially those free ones, actually log your browsing data, completely defeating the purpose of using them in the first place. You'll also face active pushback as streaming platforms and even certain countries constantly try to block VPN traffic. Ultimately, true reliability comes with a premium price tag, while the free tiers usually just end up throttling your bandwidth. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. We use VPNs to take our data out of the hands of internet service providers and hackers on public Wi-Fi. But if you choose a VPN provider that uses weak encryption like PPTP, or worse, one that secretly keeps user logs to sell to advertisers, well, who are you really trusting with your digital footprint? You're essentially paying to move your data from one untrustworthy highway into an untrustworthy tunnel. Keep that in mind next time you log on. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep your connections secure.